Did you know that Ramon spelt backwards is Nomar, and that Nomar spelt backwards is Slurblderp? Hey guys, welcome to the Road to 40. I'm Jason Oliveira, as always, as I am every night, each and every night. I have yet to change after 178 episodes. I don't have a whole hell of a lot I want to talk about tonight. I'm feeling better, which is nice, and I decided to style my hair a little tonight. I don't know why. I walked by the bathroom mirror and I was like, oh Jesus. I had to throw a little water in my hair. It's not product, just water. I've decided a few things. Well, I started writing a script for a friend of mine's project. My friend Greg Autry. If you're watching, hey Greg. I fully embraced his idea the minute I read it. I can't say anything about it because I'm sure he wouldn't care, to be honest, but just for the sake that it's not my project. Well, I mean, I guess I'm part of it now, but I'm not going to talk about it yet till he says, oh yeah, that's fine, you can talk about it on the Road to 40. Then I'll talk about it. So this project's a lot of fun. It's right up my alley, and it's easy to write. Not because it's a simple subject matter, but because I feel like I can put myself in this character's place, or I can put a lot of my friends in this character's place and just draw on experiences they went through in their middle school, high school years to develop this character. I actually have a picture in my mind. I'll have to draw him just to see what Greg thinks, but he does have a concept artist, I think, in mind, and he's going to restock his supplies. I guess he's out right now and start to draw a little more. So I'm excited about it because I think I can write from anywhere, whereas I have to draw, in specific spots. But I can write on my phone. I can write in the dining room on the laptop. I can write on the Kindle here. I can just share the shit on Dropbox and just pour these ideas out. So he seemed to like it. Seemed to think like I'm on the right page with it. So I'm going to run with an episode, the pilot episode, and see how that goes. It's going to be heavy D&D influence, the first episode, I think. I think it's got to. I think it really has to. Just knowing that D&D is such a big part of my life. And the main character is kind of a geek. I guess I can say that. I'm not going to say anything about his name or anything, but animating it, though, I'll be very interested to see how that gets done. I've animated in Flash a little bit, and it wasn't easy for me. It was a long, drawn-out process. It's basically just telling the shapes that you create for body parts. At this frame, be in this position. At this frame, be in that position. But it never looked natural. It always looked a little bit weird. Kind of like I love watching, what the hell's the name of it by Fat Pie? Salad Fingers. The animation is kind of flashy, though. The way that, he's got detached arms that, when he walks, do this or whatever. And, sometimes his head bobs because it doesn't stay in the right frame or whatever. But I think that a part of that's intentional. But Flash for animation, I don't think it's too much work for little output. I think there's got to be better software out there. The hard thing is animating. I guess the best way to do it is digital nowadays. You create your different looks for your character, especially with a cartoon type show. It's very easy to get from point A to point B without having to do cell for cell animation these days. The stars ain't out of reach, my friends. Jim, if you're watching tonight, I know you watch a few of these here and there, you little sneaker, you little stinker. Come on, let's do a show together. I think the people want to see it. Doesn't everybody want to see it? Doesn't everybody? Right, Dr. Carl Mitchin? That's right, Mr. Oliveira. Jim should come on your show and have a grand old time. Oh. One of my hard drives. My external. I have 3 externals up here. All different shapes, sizes. One of them is literally just one of those SATA. You just slam it in there and just boom, you're good to go. They're pretty neat. I like them because you can do the micro, or what the hell are they called? Wow, man. I'm getting old. I can't remember shit. Hard drives. Not IDE. SATA, but there's two different formats. There's the 2.5 and the 3.5, or 5 point. I can't remember what. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anywho, Jim's reading my book right now, and he texted me and he said, "I'm pissed at you right now. I'm so mad I could spit on you." And I was like, at first I was thinking, did I say something? Did I do something? Like, I hope I didn't offend him. He's a good friend. And then he said, "You killed this character." I said, "Oh, yeah, I did. I had to, though. It was very necessary." There it is. Oh, there's the death scene right there. Let me read this. Oh, should I read it? It's a big spoiler. You gonna read this book? You can buy this at lulu.com/Jaycen, Geycen. Or if you want the digital copy, if you've got a Kindle, it's over on Amazon for $2.99. And it's also on the Nook over at Barnes & Noble, bn.com, for $2.99 as well. I don't make a killing off of these. It's very little amount of money, but I'm not in it to make the money necessarily. If I could make a living doing it and there was like 1 million people reading the book, I'd be thrilled to the core. I just don't think it's that well written. Like, I think I have good ideas. It's just a matter of taking those ideas and working with a writer, or getting back in school and learning how to write better. I don't know. I write how I think and feel. Like, I literally, sometimes I have to just jot down notes for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 pages because I can see the story in my mind all the way through from start to finish. And I can't write that fast. So I guess I could record it. But the text, the speech to text still isn't that great, I don't believe. And I'd have to train it for like Galadriel, or let's see, Hamlin would work. Hamlin is actually, he's named after a friend of mine, but he's not necessarily the friend. I just named him because a Shelva. There's a lot of these. Valis Vesconci. That's a tough one to say. It's a good name, Valis Vesconci. Tell me that doesn't scream vampire. I think it does. Good name. Kerplunk Tinkerlut. That's a gnome. He's a little gnome character. I had to rename all the races in this because I didn't want it attached to anything that could be affiliated with Wizards of the Coast or TSR or anything like that. I probably didn't have to, but I did because I felt more comfortable doing it. Like, obviously the ideas are based off of races that were created by somebody else. But there's also quite a few races in here. Actually, the third book in this series, which I haven't even published a second one yet, which is done. It's completely done. Just needs to be edited. And I can't edit it because I suck. Is to be edited and then just create some cover art, and book 2 is out. I feel bad because there are a few people who have asked me, "Are you ever going to put that one out? Are you going to put that out?" I mean, there's not a lot. It's local guys around here and stuff like that, but they've read it, liked it enough that they're waiting for the second one. I told them I'd just send them a PDF of what I have so far because I feel bad. I mean, they're just basically waiting. But look at the font size I chose for this. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a lot smaller. This should have been... It was intended to be 7 books. I've told the story before, so I'm not going to tell it again. I don't think I did a chapter heading at the front of this book. I really kind of... I guess you don't normally do that. Look at the ideas I had, too. Galadriel series. Morning Star. Untitled Galadriel short story. I don't know what I was thinking there. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. It would have bridged the gap between the 2 books. I started writing that. Isn't that horrible? I can't remember what it was about. Oh, it was about the years between when... Well, I can't say anything. If you've never read the book, then it'd spoil it. Test of Faith was supposed to come out in 2010. That's 4 years ago. Master of Destiny would have been the 3rd book, which I think I was going to change the name of that to Bound by Honor. Then there's the Talon and Abram, or the Corey and Jay story, about a dwarf whose clan is completely wiped out and he's raised by elves, and he becomes a ranger. That's a cool idea. He's a cool character. And Talon is he actually wakes up in a field and it's raining around him and he can't remember hardly anything. He knows his name and a little bit about himself. I can't go into. And then the Away Club, which is my fictional biography about the Tales from the Chill Room, the 3 month or 2 year party, however you want to look at it. Then I got some children's books down here that one of them is rolling. I just need to actually draw it and publish it. PJ Bottoms. I know I've been kind of secretive about PJ Bottoms, but he's a cool character. And I've got a book, and I've got a lot of illustrations ready for it. I just need to really crack down. But when you're writing for another project, you're drawing for another project, you're performing in a band, you're working part-time, you're homeschooling your kids, like, you run out of time. And you got to decide, like, these moments, like, I enjoy doing these. Like, I love the idea of sitting here and talking about my day just based on the idea that there's some people who find it interesting enough that want to know about it. And I also like doing this knowing that, probably in 10 years I will sit down with my kids and show them this for the first time, starting it, I don't know, I'll randomly pick episodes or something like that, just to let them know it's out there. But I think when the boys are a little older and when Gwen's in her, 20s, I think they'll have a newfound respect for their dad, I hope. Speaking of respect, I want to get back to that, but Derek Jeter's retiring. Now, mind you, I am a huge Red Sox fan. I've always been a huge Red Sox fan. Well, not always. Probably my whole life I've been a Red Sox fan. I've been a real Red Sox fan for probably about 2001, 2002. I really started watching them because Brad would come over and he'd want to watch the games, and especially if we were playing D&D, he'd just run out in the living room and check scores and see what was going on. Or Gary wouldn't be playing; he'd be sitting out there commentating the whole thing so Brad could know what was going on. But that's when I started getting into it, and that was in the Nomar Garcia Parra days. That's how Ramon and Nomar came up, and it was during the height of the idiots, as Johnny Damon was calling him. He was their center fielder, I believe. And so it was just awesome. 2003 and 2004 were really devastating and great years. It was like the perfect rebound. I know a lot of you guys probably aren't huge sports fans, but the Red Sox hadn't won in 86 years the World Series. And a lot of my family died never seeing them, get to win and get that pennant and beat the Yankees in the ALCS. That had never happened, or hadn't happened in a very, very long time. I don't think it had ever happened historically. So they broke all these records. Is that they came back from being down 3-0, 3 games to nothing. 2004 was just awesome. 2003 was painful. I'm not going to go into it anymore, but you guys know what I mean. If you're a sports fan. Sports are funny. I didn't like sports growing up. I never liked sports. I actually detested, jocks, which was a terrible thing. Back in the day, it was very definitive. In the late 80s, mid to late 80s, into the 90s, obviously. I graduated in 93. It was very easy to be okay, you're a jock, you're a nerd. Those stereotypes were really developed then. Back, you can go back further and find different stereotypes, but the ones that still stick around till I think today, you still hear it and you go, oh yeah, okay. That really was right around then. And what the fuck was I talking about? And artsy people usually weren't sports people as well. But if you're in Massachusetts, there's a heavy sports influence there with the Red Sox and the Patriots, the Bruins and the Celtics. So, you grew up knowing about all these teams. Even if you didn't care about sports, you still knew the scores most of the time, or you knew who was playing who and so on and so forth. And when the Yankees were coming it down, forget about it, So, Derek Jeter's retiring. And I will say this of him. Through all the years, I've never really disliked him. I didn't like him at all when I first started watching the Red Sox because he was on the Yankees and he was their shortstop and he was their captain, the star player. I don't think he was captain at the time. And he was just a great baseball player, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But he was a Yankee. But through the years, reading about him, I've heard some weird stories too, but I'm going to leave that alone. out of respect for the man, he's one of the greats, and it's awesome that he's retiring. And, like, it's been fun hating him and disliking him and just hoping that he does terrible at baseball. And now he's got, like, 3 games left against Boston. He's not playing shortstop. He's just going to be a designated hitter. And that's it. And he's done. And good for him. So, I mean, not like he's watching this or anything like that, but that's pretty cool. Like, to be able to live a life that good and not ever get called on drug charges or, like, beating your wife, or, like, he seems like somebody who deserves to get where he got. Does he make a little bit more money than he should? Personally, I believe so. I mean, not just him, baseball in general, sports in general. Getting congested again. Fall is in the air, man, and I love this season. I really love it, and it sucks that I've been sick, because these are the days that you don't get back. Worst part of a good day is knowing it's slipping away. It's also the best part, because the minute you know that it's slipping away, you can do something about it. You know what I mean? I think that moment of realization in life in general, day to day, year to year, week to week, hour to hour, to be able to know that this will be over someday, you have to enjoy it while you can. I'm about to get preachy on you right now on the road to 40. No, I'm not. I'm just saying, it's tough to do, and it's not practical to do, but to be able to live as many moments of your life, that's a good way of putting it. Live as many moments of your life like it's your last, because you can't live every moment like it's your last. That's improbable. I'd like to know the odds, because I wouldn't place a bet on it. Thank you for always coming back, guys. It means a lot to me. You guys have a great night. If you're loving these like I'm loving them, please subscribe or pass them along via the Facebook, the Twitter. Yeah, follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I occasionally post some weird picture of something. There was a day I went to the buffet and I did round 1, round 2, and dessert, which was round 3. It beat the shit out of me. My tummy hurt for days. Oh my god, my nose. Don't forget to make somebody smile tomorrow. Make yourself a better person tomorrow than you were today tomorrow. Let's make the world spin a little bit happier together. Let's sing and dance in the rain, holding hands. And always remember the most important thing. Han shot first. Does it upset you that I say Han? Han? I like Han. Although my grandmother used to call him Han. That's why it's a hard time letting that go. We used to play with Star Wars figures, me and her. I'd only let her be Yoda. That was the only good guy I'd let her be. That's my good old great-grandma Green. Good night, Dr. Carl Mitchin. Good night, Rhodians. I'll see you a little further on down the road. 240.